Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, Jessica, how are you?
I'm fine.
Where is Comfort?
She's at the village.
Why? Did she tell you why she left?
Honey, you're yelling at the girl. She's not Comfort.
It's okay, ma. Comfort left because she's missing her family.
So when is she coming back? Next week?
She might spend at least a month.
1 month?
I tried to tell her to come back from next week, but I don't know.
This helps. This helps. They're all just crazy. How does she expect me to run this house by myself?
Calm down, honey. Calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. You know what it took us to get it made? You know how long it took us, and now it's going to take us longer to get a replacement?
We'll find another person. We'll find someone.
I'm sorry for all of this, ma. Sorry, sir.
It's fine. It's not your fault. Okay? Relax.
I start my annual leave on Monday, and it's going to last till the end of this month. So what if I fill in Comfort's position?
What?
Can you do it?
Yes, I can, ma. I can.
No, I don't agree. You have worked very hard at the office. All right? It's your leave. You're supposed to rest. This is your time to rest, and you should take your rest.
No, it's fine, sir. Besides, this is a way of me saying thank you for being so helpful and supportive to me and my cousin Comfort. Maybe after my leave, she should be back by then.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
You're welcome, ma.
You just relieved me of the stress. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So you start tomorrow?
Yeah, I can.
I don't like this idea. It doesn't just work right in my head. I don't want Jessica here working for us as a maid. Why?
I don't see anything so bad about that.
I see everything wrong with it. She's my secretary.
And a good one at that. You always see how efficient she is, so I'm sure she's going to channel that same energy into taking care of this house.
That will be me mixing my business life with my private life. No.
I don't think anything is wrong with that. Besides, Jessica's family. Her cousin has been here serving us all this month, and it's the same. There's no difference.
Dora, can we find someone else?
No.
Dora.
I do not have time, okay? My whole year has been booked. I cannot make out time to manage this out by myself.
Hold on a second. What I don't understand is, why are you running away from your responsibilities? No, I need to understand. Would it be an abomination? Dora, would it be an abomination if you take charge here and run this house for once? I don't see what you do. Are you working? You're not working. Can you not just stand in and do what you're meant to do?
You should scream it! Rub it in! Just tell me how it is, how I'm just an oracle. I just sit at home and eat your money, right?
Dora, that is not what I have said.
I'll be in my room.
Dora, you're walking out.
I don't understand what is going on. Her number is not going through. I cannot reach her. Jessica says there's no network in their village. And Anaya is not making this easy for me in any way. This Jessica girl has accepted to work for us. Why is he refusing?
Please, give your husband a break. Maybe the poor man is not comfortable having his secretary in his home.
Please. She works with him 5 days a week. What is wrong with her living with us?
I don't even see the need for you to hire, since Comfort is coming back soon.
She's coming back soon. But then again, in the meantime, I need help.
Please, just leave it. Let it be. He has his reasons.
What reasons? What stupid reasons? This is his opportunity to try to turn me into a full-time housewife. And I will not let it happen.
I'm sorry, but madam, you are a housewife now. A full-time housewife.
No doubt. I'm a housewife. Yes, but I'm a housewife with extracurricular activities. Yes, I'm not the conventional housewife who sits at home all day, cooks, takes care of the kids, and waits for her husband to come back whenever so that she can satisfy him. No, not me.
Okay, you are right. But wouldn't it be nice if you can show Anayo that you can be both? Nobody's saying you should not go for your activities. But babes, for me, I believe it's high time you handled the affairs of your family by yourself, on your own. Honestly.
Betty, I'm really sorry. Coming here was a mistake. I shouldn't have bothered you with my problem, so. Yes, because I'm disappointed in you. I am highly disappointed that such stupid advice can come from your mouth.
Eh?
And you call yourself my friend. So you see this visit was a waste of time.
Me stupid advice.
I'll see you some other time.
Dora.
Take care of your
Babe,
house.
I'm the only one.
I beg.
Why are you here?
What are you doing here? I'm in my room anyways, in case that's what you're asking. And yeah, I didn't cook. So call the restaurant to order food in time before they close.
I ate at the office.
Good for you.
All right, I spoke with Jessica and I told her to resume work here.
Really? Oh, you are the sweetest husband in the world.
You're happy?
Very happy.
Oh, Balaba. Babe, wait. Wait now. Ah. My name is Leonard. You can call me Leo for short. Madam said that you'll be taking Comfort's place. Oh, man. Baby, you don't look anything like a house girl, though. Eh? What's your name? What's your name now? Child. This girl fine, oh. Hi. Can't even find past Comfort.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Anayo.
Good morning.
Slept well?
Yes, I did. Yourself?
I'm okay. I made breakfast for you.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Running late. I won't be able to sit and eat.
Yes, and that's why I had it in mind to pack it up and put it in your car. Because I don't want you to start ordering food at the office while I'm here.
How nice of you.
Yes, I know how busy you can be at work that you don't eat till noon. It's annoying, you know. So I had to cook for you.
Thank you for being very proactive. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, and that's why I'm here to serve you.
Thank you very much. I'll just be on my way.
All right, sir. Have a lovely day at work.
Thank you.
Hey, Anayo.
Hey, Josh.
What's up?
How far now?
Fine. Fine boy, big man.
I hear you. What's going on?
We're good. Hey, man. What's up with Jessica's absence from work? I saw some dude at her desk. Did you fire her?
So the only thing your head could come up with is I don't fire this girl.
No, but I mean, based on our last discussion, so I thought. So what's up with her?
I beg she's on leave, I beg. Leave me alone.
Thank goodness. I thought I'd missed my chance of wooing that goddess. Oh, and the other girl is beautiful. God.
Josh, she need help.
God. Oh. So where's she?
She's in my house as we speak.
Anayo,
Yes.
your house.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, she helped us with the house help that we have. So that one traveled on a short notice, and since they're sort of related, she decided to be benevolent enough to just fill in her spot. That's what's up.
And now you're in the building.
You're nowhere.
And I hear that girl is hot. My God.
Josh, what is wrong with you?
I envy you, man.
Why?
I mean, the object of my fantasy is right inside your house.
Ah.
And I imagine that girl.
I'm ashamed to know you. Okay, stop. We're grown men. Stop it.
And what Manuel says, grown men can't have fun, Anayo.
Act your age. We can have fun, but come on, not that kind of dirty fun.
Anayo, you're such a killjoy.
I hear. What do you want? Why are you here?
Truth of the matter is that I came by the area and thought we could go out, do lunch together.
Lunch? I already ate. I came here with food from the house.
Anayo?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I came with lunch.
Dora made you lunch. That's some love language.
It wasn't Dora, it was Jessica.
Anayo in the building.
What are you implying? I know she's...
Jessica made Anayo lunch.
You know what? I owe you no explanation. Believe what you want.
You need to follow the timetable so that I can know what my husband eats every day. Okay?
I'll do that, ma.
If you have any questions, don't ask me. Contact Comfort.
Okay.
She's the one that put you in this fix.
Madam Dora, what time will you be home today?
Why do you ask?
Nothing. I'll just like to wait up for you.
Oh, okay. I'll be back, say, 11 p.m. Oh, don't worry. If you don't see me, you can go to bed.
Ah.
Besides, there's a lot to do in this house, so save your energy.
All right, ma.
All right, take care, my love.
Yeah.
Jessica! Jessica!
What do you want now?
Hello, sexy. Calm down now, eh? Don't be fight. You don't be soldier.
You still haven't answered my question.
I want to know you more.
For what reason?
Fine boy, meet fine girl. You don't say something must to click.
Listen, I hope you're aware that we're not in the same class or level. I'm a dignified secretary. And the reason why I'm here is because my cousin is far away from here.
I know.
Then that should give you enough cue that we are not in the same league. Please excuse me.
Jessica. Hi. See fine babe. Eh? Oga.
Yes, Leo, how are you?
Very fine, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Oh, Jessica, how are you?
Fine. How's up today, sir?
Well, very well.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Oh, Balaba.
What?
Your pajamas, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Did I serve?
What?
Did I serve?
Oh, yeah. That, yes. I'll just get out of this and I'll hit the dining. I'll see you soon.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing, really?
Oh, please relax, sir. You had a busy day at work.
Think I can't do that for myself?
I'm trying to keep you company and what you eat.
Thank you. Nah, this is a bit awkward now, isn't it?
Why does it feel like I'm not welcome in this house?
Don't say that.
Mr. Nayo, I've worked for you for 1 year now, and we get along quite well, so why can't we keep that same energy even in your house?
Look, this is going to take some getting used to, okay? I'm still not comfortable with you coming here, doing dishes, washing clothes, making food.
I love doing it. I am not complaining. Even at work, you always tell me I work very efficiently, and that's how I am. I take my job seriously. Even if I know for a fact that comfort, my cousin, put you guys in your family in a high-die situation and never help, which makes me fit for this job. So please.
Okay. I hear you. All right? I think I should actually be more appreciative.
Yes, that's my boss. Also, let me just give you some. Please.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you.
Hey, baby.
See who's back.
You're still awake?
Yeah. Waiting up for you.
Really? You never used to do that.
What?
What happened?
Because I miss you.
Oh. Stop. Oh, baby, wait, hold on. Do you know who I saw at the party today?
Who?
Mr. McCarthy.
That's the one with the big tummy.
Yes. I haven't seen him in years. No.
Just take this off.
No, baby, not today, No,
Why
I'm
not today?
tired. No.
Why?
Babe, listen.
What?
I've been dancing on these heels for 4 good hours.
And I've been waiting for you all day for this moment.
I'm sorry.
Please.
I'll make it up to you.
I haven't had you for months, babe.
I know. I'm just tired. I can't do it today. I'm sorry. I need to shower.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, lovely viewers. Welcome you to the Live Family Series again today. We want to say thank you so much for your time and your grace and your support. Today we're here again, and I'm here again with my Mama Sylvia, Gaba, my special Mama. Mama, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your time. You always look beautiful. Every Friday I say this to you. Papa, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man and you always have time for us. Viewers, we say thank you so much for coming. We're going to continue again from where we left off last week, Friday, about the typical questions for marriage couples, part 2. Typical questions for marriage couple, part 2. Before we zoom into the program, we're going to say a short word of prayer before we zoom into the main program. Mama, please, can you say a short word of prayer for us, please? Thank you.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for tonight. Holy Spirit, we pray that God come and take charge of us tonight's meeting. Use us to be a blessing to your people. We pray that God, you bless every home that's watching us. Bless your people. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Stay tuned wherever you are and enjoy from where we left off last week. Typical questions for marriage couple from the Family Life series, part 2. And I have some books here written by Apostle Gaba, my papa himself. I have here Understanding the Purpose of Marriage. And I have here also The Mystery of Witchcraft. And I have here Financial Deliverance and more books. All these books are written by Apostle Gaba himself. You can get all his books from Amazon.com, or you can call us on +9 7155 417 and we'll deliver it directly to your doorstep. Stay tuned and enjoy the program, and also learn from it. Papa, we're going to continue from what we left off last week, Friday, and we're talking about typical questions for marriage couple.
Yeah.
So I want to ask again, I'm just going to zoom into the program because where we left off last week, we stopped at, he has a pot belly, that's where we stopped at last week. So today we're going to talk about, I'm going to ask you a question like, he squeezes his face.
He squeezes his face?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the guy, the man. He squeezes his face.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
We thank God for the opportunity to share once again. We thank God for the privilege to share once again. Now, he squeezes his face.
Yeah.
Now, if the man or the woman squeezes his face, it could be two reasons. Number one, it could be his temperament. That is how he is. There are some temperament like the choleric, melancholic. They don't normally smile very much. You understand? They don't normally have too much of a pleasant personality. You understand? So such people, you know, they have a type of personality that draws them to leadership. And so most of the time, you may not see them too much smiling. You understand? So it could be their temperament. The second one could be that the man, he has a problem. I'm talking about maybe there's a problem at home that needs to be resolved. And that could be the reason why he's squeezing his face as an indirect way of communicating. You know, communication is in two ways. One of the foremost way of communication is verbal. And so sometimes the person may not be able to verbally say that I have this problem, I have this issue. And so may try to communicate non-verbally, maybe through his facial look, just to send a signal to the wife or the husband that all is not well. So in resolving the problem or going forward, what the couple need to do is that they need, if that is the man who is squeezing his face, the woman should find out from the man, is there any problem? Is there something I have done that you are not happy with? Then they can resolve it. If it's the woman who is squeezing his face, the man should ask whether, what is the problem and why are you squeezing your face? In so doing, then they can be able to solve the problem. Because if he's squeezing his face, as I said, it could be his temperament. Some people have come to terms with living with people who don't smile that much. But as I said, marriage is not just all about outward appearance. It's more of the inward quality of the person. So the person may not be somebody who smiles much, but maybe between you and him as a spouse, he has a very good personality, or inwardly his characteristics are good. And that is what, as counselors, we advise people to concentrate more on. Do you understand? So if he's the type who laughs or very cheerful personality, but suddenly you notice that the person doesn't smile, then it means that there's something wrong and he's trying to communicate to you. You know, so in going forward, you should ask him or her what is the problem, so that you find a way of solving it. Maybe there's something that is bugging him, something that is worrying him, for which reason he feels that's the only way he can communicate. Some don't squeeze their face, some they may be distant from the person, some they will be quiet. So everybody has his own way of expressing maybe their emotional need or something they want to communicate to the person. And maybe his own is the squeezing of the face. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it all depends on whoever, yes, the temperament, and also if there's an issue, they should try and resolve it. The person shouldn't pretend. You know, sometimes in marriage, we tend to take each other so much for granted that even when the person is showing that mood, the other person tends not to care. You understand? You understand? So people have several ways of communicating. His own is squeezing his face. Some may even put theirs on Facebook. They may communicate by putting maybe a quote or something on Facebook. It's a way of sending their information to their spouse. Some may put it on their profile. Like if there is a fight or something, they may put it on their profile. Just a way of communicating to their spouse. You understand? So people have a way of leveraging their communication or trying to send their communication to their spouse or whoever they want to communicate to. But his own is the squeeze, which is the non-verbal. So the other party should not look unconcerned. I don't care. Find out why the person has squeezed his face. Then you can be able to live happily as a husband and wife. Yeah.
Mommy, you want to add something? He squeezes his face all the time.
Yeah, Papa has already said if something is from someone, so the two of them have to sit down and discuss it. You know, and if you discuss it and it's not working, you go and see a counselor. You see, that's the best way. You can deal with someone who squeezes his face. You discuss it. You ask him what is wrong with him. If he doesn't want to open up, then you discuss it. You go and see a counselor. That's what you should talk about it then.
Usually when people are in a relationship or in a marriage and they hardly smile or they hardly laugh, if it's not a personality trait, like the temperament, then it means one person, either the man or the woman, is not happy. So you have to try and see, find out, communicate and see what is wrong, or you try and communicate to your partner. You understand? Because sometimes we take things for granted until things escalate. Like you heard of the pastor who murdered the wife. You understand? I believe that there have been occasions where maybe either party were not happy. You understand? So if we shouldn't look unconcerned, or the person has squeezed, that is how it is. Try and find out what is really wrong with the person. That's what I'm saying, that people have a different way of communicating. Somebody can, if you are dating somebody, he sees a friend, he can even try to communicate by making you jealous. You understand? By trying to hug the person, be around the person to make you jealous. It's a way of communicating. So people have several ways of communicating. You understand? But just make sure that you know about communicate at the end of the day, it comes with other repercussions. Do you understand what I'm saying? So his own of communicating his disdain for an issue is the squeezing of his face. Yeah.
Okay, Papa, Mommy, I want to ask. I want her to put on some weight. I want her to put on some weight.
The man wants the woman to put on some weight.
Yeah.
Usually it's the opposite. Usually it's the opposite. Normally it is the men rather telling the woman to reduce his weight, or the woman telling the man to reduce his weight. But this one, the person is telling the wife or the fiancé to put on weight.
Yeah.
Now, as I intimated or as I reiterated, usually when you are getting married, men are moved by what they see. You understand? Men are moved by what they see. Women are moved by touching and feeling. Do you understand? And by words that are spoken to them. So, if you want the woman to put on weight, one of the main issue here is acceptance. The man is failing to accept the woman the way she is. Because until you accept your partner, you cannot, you see, it has been researched that in the midlife crisis, maybe once you get married, it has been researched, it is an empirical evidence that when you get married at a certain age, you normally will put on weight. Even if you are exercising, you still put on some small weight. You understand? So as counselors, what we advise people is that don't concentrate on the outward appearance, but concentrate on the inward. Do you understand? Because for the outward, it all depends on your pocket. Because even when it comes to fat, there is you can do you can go and take out the whole fat. All this you see is fat. They can take it out and they can do a surgery for you to eat like a baby, and you may never grow fat. So it's the outward, which is the container. So I think that what is worrying the guy is that, or why he wants the wife, maybe in the office or the place he works, or maybe his taste has changed. Maybe he used to like slim girls. But I hear now it is no more slim. I hear now, Mommy was saying that now it's women with big butts, that is now women who are fat and big, who are now on top, that the men, you said? Big boobs, and they are now the reigning now. So maybe his taste has changed. But if he continues that way, he might find himself in trouble. Because as for your wife, you should be able to accept your woman the way he is. You understand? And concentrate more on his inward quality. Because you see, these are some of the reasons why. You see, I said last week that many people, when they're getting married, they look at the packaging. So maybe you package your way, you package yourself in a certain way. Maybe you were slim. You see, and so when you got the person gets married to you, he expects you to be the same slim. And so a lot of women put themselves under undue pressure. They are going through so many things just to be slim for the man. But one thing about men is that you can do whatever they want to. If they say they will cheat on you, they will still cheat on you. It doesn't matter whether you are slim, you are big, you are fat. You understand? The same is a two-edged sword. The same applies to the women. It doesn't matter whether you have 6 packs, or you have 10 packs, or you have a pot belly. If your fiancé or your wife says he will cheat on you, he will still cheat on you. So as counselors, we advise people to always concentrate on the inward quality of the person. And for the outward, you can negotiate. You can find a middle ground to make it work. But the inward qualities are what you should concentrate on. You understand? Because as for the outward qualities, anything can happen. Let me give an example. There was a very beautiful woman, very, very pretty woman. She was going to give birth. In the period of giving birth, in the process of giving birth, she lost her 2 legs. Are you going to divorce her after? Do you understand? She lost her 2 legs. So if your concentration is based on the outward appearance, it means that immediately she lost her 2 legs, you would have lost interest in her. And that's not what the covenant of marriage tells us. You understand? So in going forward, I think that it shouldn't be a pressure on the woman. It will be, if she wants to put on weight, it should be something that she would like to do willingly. You understand? The man should not put pressure on her to put on weight. You understand? Because the man should concentrate on the inner qualities rather than the outward qualities. Do you understand? Because as you are here, Esther, right now, you have a flat tummy. Once you get married, all this it will disappear. Once you give birth, you know, the tummy, no matter whether you go to gym, the marks will still be there. You understand? You can gym it, you can take away the fat, whatever, the mark will still be there that you have given birth before. And it will not be the same as a single lady who has never given birth. It will not be the same. You understand? So if the person concentrates on the outward qualities, as for the outward qualities, then if you concentrate too much on that, then you are susceptible to cheat because you are looking for something that is cannot be there, because now the person that is married, the person, because when it happens that way, that is why some of the women, they give birth, they don't want to give breast milk to their children, they don't want to breastfeed, some of them want surrogate parents because she feels, I don't want to lose my shape and whatever. It's unrealistic. It's very unrealistic. So let's concentrate more on the inner qualities of the person rather than the outer. Let me read the scripture to back what I'm saying. Let me read the scripture. In Ecclesiastes 9 verse 9, the Bible says, live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity, which he had given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity. For that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun. So you see, the Bible is telling us to live joyfully with thy wife whom thou lovest all the day of your life, of thy vanity. So learn to accept your partner the way she is. You understand? And let her rather build confidence in the way she is, rather than looking at the outward, rather than looking at the inward qualities of the person. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Talking about that, you know, if I do customer service and all that here at my workplace, and I had this regular customer. He's a man.
Okay.
And normally when he comes, he goes like, oh my God, I love your body. I wish my wife could be like you. When my wife gave birth, her body became fat and everything. I'm like, sir, I think it's because of the baby or because she has delivered. And she was like, no, I wish my wife could be like you. I like your figure and everything. What do you use? What do you do? I told him, sir, even even me, I'm trying to put on weight, but it's not coming. I think it's because of my job, standing all long hours and all that. Then the following week, he came with a wife.
Okay.
He came with the wife to the restaurant, and he told the wife, I want you to look like Esther. You see her body and everything is so good. And the wife was like, Esther, what do you do? What do you eat? So I had to, because we do more like healthy food and everything, so I have to tell the wife that, okay, you can do meal plan with that. That's healthy food for like a month. Then you can lose weight. And the wife was like, no, I'm trying a lot, but I'm not losing weight. And the husband keeps saying, I want you to look like this lady. Was that wrong for him to say like that?
Yeah,
even bringing her,
maybe mommy will answer.
even bringing her over to see me.
It's wrong. It's wrong. He has to accept the wife the way she is. It's very wrong.
Very wrong.
Yeah,
But she has
very
given
wrong.
birth.
Yeah, she has given birth. For instance, me, I was very slim. My
Mommy was slimmer than me.
Yeah, I know.
Very slimmer than
I
me.
look at me. So she has to accept it. The man has to accept the way the wife is.
And it's an error. You see,
Yeah.
let me come in, mommy. Maybe when I'm done, you can come in. Or you want to talk?
No.
Okay. You see, one of the things, we are not saying that exercising is wrong. Nobody's saying that. It's good to exercise. It's good to be on diet if you have a weight issue. You understand? And so there is nothing wrong with that. We believe in exercise. We believe in trying to put, losing your weight, which is it's not a bad thing for the husband to suggest that to the wife. But we are saying that it should not be done under pressure. You understand? Oh, I need you to lose weight for me. That's what you're saying, that one is wrong. The woman in her wisdom should be able to know that, oh, I feel, because losing weight has its own health benefits. Because I am told that people who exercise a lot, you may not see the benefits today, but when you are growing older, then you see that, oh, it was really helpful, because I hear those who exercise more, they tend to live longer in terms of age, and they are not too much prone to sicknesses than people who don't exercise at all. Do you understand? So we are all for the exercise, but he bringing the wife is an error. It's an error because you must never compare your wife. One of the basic understanding of marriage that elongates marriage and brings happiness is contentment. Your ability to be content with your wife. You understand? That's why I'm saying that there are some things which may be your fantasy, maybe your dream, but it may never come to pass. That you wish that your wife would be the way she is forever. It may never materialize. And that is why people chase fables. They keep chasing one woman to the other, forgetting that this woman you are chasing, when she also gives birth, she may also end up just like your wife. You understand? So one of the secrets of long-lasting marriage and happiness is to be content and to be happy. That, okay, this is my wife, this is how she used to be. But it is also not an excuse, as I'm saying, that for the woman to exercise or the man to exercise, because it benefits the woman herself, it benefits the man herself. But it should not be like, I am doing it to please my husband, or I'm doing it to please my wife. You can do all these things. If the man wants to go out, he will still go out. So do it to please yourself and to know that if I exercise, it's for my own benefit. Because there's something we call self-love. You have to love yourself to know that, oh, if I exercise, I will lose weight and it's for my own health benefit. Because if you don't love yourself, nobody can love you. You understand? If you don't appreciate your own self and love yourself, nobody else can love you. And so you are not losing weight because of a man, but you are losing weight because you feel that, oh, health-wise, it's going to help me. It's going to elongate my years on this planet Earth. Sickness-wise also is going to help me. So in bringing the wife to you is an error. And moreover, it may even breed mistrust. The woman may not trust you again or trust the husband around you because...
But the woman was laughing,
No, she's laughing because she's being diplomatic. Maybe when they go home, they are going to solve their issue. You understand? So it's an error. That's what I'm saying, that everybody has his fantasy. You see, what the man doesn't know is that he may be saying that I want my wife to be like this. But has he also really asked the wife what she also wants in a man? Maybe the woman too wants a six-pack. Does he have a six-pack? You understand? Maybe the woman also wants six-packs. So if you are telling her that she should lose weight or she should whatever, then you should ask yourself whether you yourself have you lost weight. So for him doing that is wrong. It's totally wrong. Comparison is not healthy for marriage. To compare your wife to another person and compare your husband to another person is totally wrong. Yes, it's wrong. It's not a fundamental thing to do so far as marriage is concerned. It's wrong. Yeah.
Mommy, my wife does not like kissing.
Kissing.
My wife does not like kissing.
Maybe she doesn't know how to do it. So, as a man, if you know how to do it, you kiss him. Or maybe she's feeling shy. She's feeling shy. That's why.
Okay. I also think that kissing is a good thing when it comes to marriage. It helps to show affection for each other. Okay. And as mommy said, it could be okay. I understand. It's because of my phone. That's why it's giving feedback for my phone. So kissing is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to kiss your spouse. It's not bad to kiss your spouse. But as mommy reiterated or intimated, it could be as a result of, say, she doesn't know how to kiss, but it will also be oral in terms of the oral hygiene of the man. You understand? Sometimes we tend to take a lot of things for granted so far as marriage is concerned. You see, and sometimes we don't take our oral hygiene very important. We tend to concentrate more on the outward, and so if the woman doesn't like kissing, it could be that the man's mouth may be having some odor which drives away the man around. Because you see, marriage is such a way that maybe if the man's mouth is smelling or the woman's mouth is smelling, it's sometimes difficult. We don't find a very nice way of saying it. You might say it and offend your partner. You understand? So many couples or even in a relationship find it difficult. Do you know that, for instance, even if you're working with a colleague who has a bad odor, and you don't even find a way of saying, the person can resign because of you, because of what you said to the person. People get offended when it comes to issues that have to do with personal hygiene, and especially when they are already grown up. You understand? So I remember we had a discussion where a lady said she even went to the extent of buying deodorant for the person who was a best friend. They were best friend at the office. And when she did that and bought deodorant for the person, that was the end of their friendship. They never spoke again. You understand? So people find it very offensive when you tell them. Maybe the cultures are different. Maybe in some other cultures you can say it easily and get away. But some other cultures, people find it very offensive. So the question is, my wife does not like kissing. So it could be two ways. As mommy said, she could be shy. She has never done it. Maybe she's a virgin. She has never dated him apart from you, the man. So she doesn't know how to do it. So the man can teach her. But the man should look at his oral in terms of if your wife doesn't like drinking and maybe all the time you are drunk and you smoke. Maybe she doesn't like all those scents coming from you and your mouth and all that. So if you can work on your mouth odor, maybe most of the time you put a chewing gum or Mentox or something in your mouth that will always give a pleasant odor coming from your mouth. It will be able to help her to be able to relax, to kiss you, because as I said, he may want to kiss you, she may want to kiss you, but the odor may not, pleasant. But as I said, because it's a sensitive area, people find it a bit difficult to communicate it. So I think personal hygiene will be best. And once he's able to keep that place well, it will make the woman to be a bit in tune, because he can see that, because couples, they communicate all the time. So if the odor is coming, she can tell, or he can tell. So that can put the man off, that can put the woman off. And sometimes it may not be your fault or whatever. But you see, even when you brush, still you have odor. Whether you brush morning or evening. Somebody can even finish brushing, and when the person talks to you, an odor will come out. So that's what I'm saying, that to create an ambience where, if the two of you believe in kissing as a way of expressing emotion, then all the time the two of you should have some men talks around you, because depending on some temperament are a bit very picky. They are, even when something smells a little, they tend to, they go to the lavatory or somewhere a little, even when they are feeling to go to their bowels, they will not, because of that. And so depending on the temperament of the woman she's married to, she may be a bit sensitive to certain details. So if you study the person, then you can, one of the ways you can solve it is to keep your mouth odor and make her feel more comfortable. As mommy said, it could also be her background. She has never seen her parents, she's maybe a virgin, she doesn't know. So you can also teach her how to kiss. Because kissing is good, it's an expression of love. It's very good. In fact, according to a research that was done, it brings a bond in every relationship. To kiss is a way of expressing emotions, expressing love to each other. But when the personal hygiene thing is not there, it will not enable the person to get closer to you, because the person may be a bit picky. You understand? So if your husband is not kissing you, or the woman is not kissing you, solve that problem. And if still is persisting, then you can communicate and find out why you don't kiss me, or you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes also a couple can start well by kissing, but eventually, because of unforgiveness, pain, and other things that maybe in the course of the marriage may have happened, may have reduced the level of love. You understand? It's just like what I was preaching this morning, that people love God, they come to the faith, they love the things of God, then offense and bitterness, unforgiveness can make their love for the things of God quell, and so they sit back. The same thing applies in marriage. When there are unforgiveness, there are pain and the rest, sex just becomes a ritual to sustain the marriage. You understand? There's no real affection, because the real affection actually starts with the kissing and the expression of emotions to each other. You understand? So what they need to do in going forward is to find a common ground of solving their problem, and try to forgive each other, so that they can bring back that love, and maybe that expression of love through kissing and all that. It helps.
Okay, thank you, Papa. Thank you, Mommy. Mama, Papa, my wife does not like sex too much. My wife does not like sex much.
Mommy will answer that.
My wife does not like sex much. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe if your wife doesn't love sex, you have to ask her, or you ask her why is not interested, or what is wrong. That's why before you go into marriage, I believe you have to discuss all these things before you go into marriage. You can't go into marriage and your husband wants to have sex with you, you said no. So you have to discuss it. How many times do you want to have sex? All these things have to be discussed. If you don't like it, you don't like sex too much, discuss it with your spouse that maybe I'm not into sex that much, I don't like sex. Maybe Because the last time we talk about temperament, you find out that there's some temperament you don't like sex. So it could be that.
Okay, let me add to what Mommy said. You see, when it comes to the issue of sex, sex is, the marriage institution is ordained of God. And one of the ways of consummating the marriage is through sex. So even in the legal framework of marriage, the court even defines marriage as after consummation. Consummation means that when you marry the person is still not your wife or your husband until you have gone to the bed and you have actually had sex with the person. And if you don't have sex with a person, it is even assumed that there was no marriage in the first place. You understand? And remember that it is also scriptural. The Bible says that one of the essence of marriage is also for procreation. You understand? The reason for marriage is procreation. And so when you are going into marriage, that is why we are talking about knowledge. You see, before you go into anything, have knowledge about the thing. Like for instance, if you are going to conflict resolution in the field of my work, we're going to resolve a conflict. Now, you need to do a briefing on the parties involved in the conflict, their temperament, the way they think, how difficult they are, so that whoever is sharing the conflict, whoever is trying to solve the problem between the two people, knows that this person is difficult, he has this temperament, so he knows how to go about it. The same thing also applies to marriage. In marriage, for you to understand marriage properly, you need to understand it even from the context of sex. That, you see, no woman likes sex too much. It's natural for women. Because for a woman, it is not actually the penetration that women don't only see sex as penetration. Women don't see sex as the penetration as being sex. They don't see that. Chatting with a woman and letting her laugh alone, making her happy, to her is more than just sex. So it is not when you penetrate her that you say that I've had sex with her. Women go beyond that, because a man can have sex with a woman he doesn't love. So for men, sex is, he can have sex with anybody, but yet he doesn't love her. But a woman is a different ballgame. A woman doesn't just have sex if she doesn't love the person. Do you understand? So there are women who may have sex with a gate man, a messenger, and maybe their husband is a big boss. Now, the only reason why she has not made the husband to catch her is because she feels that the gate man is not a good replacement for the husband. You understand? And only satisfying her pleasure. So what we are saying is that your ability to understand the male, that males, whether from a managing director to a damaging director, they all like sex. Every man likes sex. Do you understand what I'm saying? Forget about the ones who are very diplomatic, and every man likes sex. And so if you are going into any marriage as a woman, you must bear that at the skull of your brain and understand that your man, whether he is quiet or depending on his temperament, they all like sex. And so if he comes to you and you keep ignoring him and you keep giving him excuses, some woman whose moral standard is a bit down, whose moral is a bit down, will give him the sex that he wants. Do you understand what I'm saying? So once you have this at the back of your mind, it makes it very easy for you to be able to tame your man. You understand? There's a Uganda proverb that says that if you don't want your husband or your man to cheat on you, empty his balls and fill his stomach, and he will not cheat on you. Empty his balls and fill his stomach. let him have as millions of sex he wants to have. And make sure that you feed him well. When he goes out, he will see women like trees. Do you understand what I'm saying? But there are some women, they even draw timetable. We'll have sex on Monday, Tuesday, no, Thursday, Sunday. You see, those things, it doesn't work in marriage. You know, when it comes to marriage, it is a different ballgame, because you see, in marriage, my wife's body doesn't belong to her. The two shall become one. So my body is my wife's body. My wife's body is my body. We are one. So if my wife wants my body, I can't say no. If I want my wife's body, she cannot say no. So those people who go to sleep and they wear jeans and say, today is not going to happen, and you are fighting your husband and you are fighting your wife, it is totally wrong. You understand what I'm saying? And so the question is that my wife doesn't like sex too much. Now, every woman doesn't like sex too much, so you have to prepare her. You understand? No sex, no woman wakes up in the morning and the first thing she's thinking about is that I'm going to have sex. You understand? So if you want to have sex with your wife, then you can go now. If you want to have sex with your wife, okay, what you can do is that you can prepare the person. You can prepare the person. Maybe the love note you leave behind, the message you leave behind, maybe you call her from the office, or a kiss, a peg, some romantic message or something prepares her.
You have to put her in the mood.
Put her in the mood to say, oh, I'm going to have sex. My husband may want to have sex with me. That is why he's trying to communicate the message to me. You understand what I'm saying? So if you can do that, then the woman is prepared in her mind. She knows, okay, today is going to happen. You understand? Because as for women, let me tell you something about women. A woman can be on one, except the ones with the other temperament, like the typical choleric type, or typical choleric, or sanguine. You understand? Choleric sanguine. The rest, they can be on the bed with you if you don't touch her, if you don't initiate sex 1 month. She can be on the bed with you 1 month. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that you, the man, the Bible tells us to dwell in knowledge with them. Like when you are going to marry, you need to understand the woman. You need to understand her system. So she may not be ready, but you can put her in the mood. You understand? Because you are the man, you can put her in the mood. But it all depends on the way you do it. Because if, for instance, you are leaving to work or you are going somewhere, then you've insulted her, you've gotten her angry, or you've done something she doesn't like, then in the evening, you want to pounce on her. If she's a good wife, she might just lie there for you to do whatever you are doing. And squeeze her face. Normally, she will squeeze her face, you will do everything. You do whatever you want to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when you finish whatever you are doing, she asks you, are you done? You say yes. She goes to wash down, she comes back to sleep. So you see that there's no love to whatever you did. You understand what I'm saying? So it is always good that you try as much as possible to understand them. Sometimes she may not be in the mood because maybe sometimes mood swing. She's now 2 days to her menstrual cycle, so her mood has shifted a bit. Chromosomes have changed. So you need to understand all these things about the woman. You understand what I'm saying? Then it will be able to help you to know when to attack or when to approach. You understand what I'm saying? To see whether she's ready or she's not ready. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Maybe she's thinking about something and mind is not. But you can always put her in a mood. It all depends on, because women are moved by the touching and the way you talk to her. So if the woman doesn't like sex too much, it all depends on the man. It all depends on the man. Yeah, he can actually put her in the mood. Yeah.
Mimi, you want to add something?
But if she keeps starving the man will go out. Men are animal by nature. They they are animalistic by nature because they are raw. You see, men seek for adventure. You see, they always want adventure. Do you know that it has been researched that men like varieties? It's a research that was done in the US. They did a research. Then they noticed that men like varieties. So, as a woman, don't let your man easily predict you. That is what makes them to cheat. Because you check the men who cheat and compare the women they cheat with their wives. You see that they just like adventure. Today they want an Afro woman. Tomorrow they want. He's a very quiet guy. He wants a woman who is hard. They like adventure. You understand? Women are not like that. When a woman cheats on you, she has replaced you. You are no more somebody she loves. She has replaced you. If she is caught and she is pleading, it's because the person she was caught with is not a good replacement for the person that she's cheating on. That's the only reason why she's begging. A woman caught in an act will never beg you unless the person she's committing the act with is not a good replacement. Do you understand what I mean? Once it's a good replacement, once you catch her, she'll just cover herself. Whatever you want to do. If she's a married person, once you catch her, she will not even complain. She will just pack her thing, pack everything. She's gone. Because the person she might be sleeping is a worthy replacement for you. Maybe the person too has money, the person too can provide her needs. She's off. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mommy, Papa, my husband does not seem to understand that my libido is not always high. I don't like sex all the time.
Yeah, we said it. It is not about libido. When we are talking about sex, it's not about the libido of the man being high. We are saying that sex is a marital right. It's something that you need to do in the marriage. You need to have sex with your wife. You need to have sex with your husband. Even in some cases, your husband may be tired, but he needs to have sex with you if the woman wants it. If the woman also wants sex, the man should make time to have sex with the woman, the woman, even when it is necessary. So it's not about, what we are saying here is not about whether the man's libido is high. So his libido is high all the time, so he wants to have sex with you. What we are saying is that, yes, we've had cases as a counselor. We've had cases like that where
the man watches porno.
The man watches pornography, and so maybe he's always in a mood. But pornography itself is not something that edges a man's libido, though. But some men, by their makeup and genetics, they like a lot of sex. They love sex. So what we are saying is that in such circumstances, if you are a woman, because there are some women too, depending on their temperament and their genetic makeup, some women also like sex a lot. You understand what I'm saying? So if you find yourself in the category like that, where maybe your man likes a lot of sex, marriage is sacrifice. And it's one thing that people have to understand. There are so many things that you may do in marriage that you don't like, but because it is a sacrificial thing, you have to do it. So if your husband libido is high, then you have to sacrifice to make him happy, to satisfy his sexual urge, so that he doesn't go out. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why I gave you the Uganda proverb that says that empty his testicles, empty his balls, and feed him, he will not go anywhere. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you keep saying that his libido is too high, so he worries me with sex all the time, no. You understand? Because when it happens that way, some men may go out, some also may start masturbating. You understand? They start masturbating, which also comes with its own repercussions. So it is always good that you must understand that marriage is all about sacrifice. It's all about sacrifice. So you have to sacrifice so that the man will stay. You understand? So if his libido is high, you have to find a way of getting used to it. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if you say that because it is your duty as a husband to satisfy your wife, and it's the duty of the woman to satisfy the husband. Do you understand? It's your duty. That's why we keep telling people that marriage is not for boys, it's not for girls. So if you are not ready and you are not matured enough, don't go into it, because it comes with a lot of sacrifice. You have to sacrifice a lot of things. So if you're not ready and you think that you live in your own world and you jump into it, you may be doing more harm to yourself than good. So it's not just about the libido, but it is a conjugal right that both parties have to give to each other. Yeah.
Thank you, Papa. Thank you, Mama. And I have here inside. My wife is not romantic and she does not like sex at all. My wife is not romantic and doesn't like sex at all. Mommy.
Sometimes it's the upbringing, because at home maybe he doesn't know, she doesn't see the wife, the mom or the dad doing anything romantic, especially we African, you know. That's why if you go to Facebook and they will say people like white men more than black men, or because they don't know how to show affection and those things. So if your wife don't know how to do it, I believe you find a way of teaching her, talking to her, and how to, if you Google things, you learn it. You have to learn it. You have to learn it. And you learning it, you find a way of doing it that your spouse will enjoy it. You see? Because to the first century now, if you don't learn certain things, your husband will run away from you. So you have to learn it. Google it. If you don't know how to do it, let someone teach you. You learn it.
Yeah, so if someone should be, if you're a woman, it should be a woman. If you're a man, it should be a man to teach you. But even when it comes to the Googling, you have to make sure that the information you are getting is a superior information, which is also Christian, so that you don't go and give surprise to your spouse and your spouse is like, where did you learn this one too from? Now, the question says, my wife is not romantic and she doesn't like sex at all. It's the same thing we are talking about.
Also can be part of temperament.
Yes, if the person doesn't like sex at all, then she has no business getting married in the first place. It was even an error for them to get married. Do you understand what I'm saying? So she should not even get married at all, because if you don't like sex at all, then you have no business getting married, because we are not friends. Even though we are friends in the marriage, but we are married couples. You understand what I'm saying? You are not my sister. I'm not your brother. You understand what I'm saying? In some marriages, they even call themselves sister, brother. No, you're not sisters. We're not brother. We are married so we can have sex. It's one of the reasons why we got married. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it is very important that wives and husbands, when they are going into marriage, they need to get that at the back of their mind. You see? But what we are saying is that try and woo your wife. Because as I said, naturally, most women don't like sex. So, but depending on the way you stir her up, the way you talk to her, will prepare her. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some women, just kerosene her alone is enough for. She may say, yes, I want sex, but even if you are tired, they say, oh, put your hand on me. You are kerosene. They tell you that she's even asleep. That's the sex she wants. Some just want to chat. Some just want to talk. You understand what I'm saying? So, when a woman says sex, it's not only about penetration. She just wants somebody to communicate with, somebody to talk with, somebody to share her thoughts, her fears. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, as mommy said, learn. If you don't know how to do something, you learn. You can get information. There are books out there, very good Christian books. You can learn how to be complimentary, to be romantic. Is talking about how you are complimentary. Oh, you are looking nice. Thank you for the food. You know, all these petty things makes you romantic.
You work together.
Mommy was saying something that the women like white people. It's not every white who is romantic. I don't know why you guys think that is every white who is romantic. It's not every white who is romantic. So, or caring. It's not every white who is caring and romantic. You understand? So So there are blacks also who are caring and romantic. It all depends on the culture that the person grew up in. You understand? If, for instance, David, if he grows up in an environment like in London or other places, may turn up to be more affectionate towards women. Depend the culture, because you see, there is a debate going on about gender and sex, and some scholars have defined gender as based on the culture. So, like in Africa where we come from, gender is defined by your functions in terms of you, the man. You are the man, so you don't go to the kitchen. You squeeze your face. You have to let the woman feel you are the man. You don't, when you talk, she doesn't talk back. It's seen as gender. In some cultures, gender is also different. You are the man, and so what? We all cook together. We all wash plate together. We all pay fees. In some jurisdiction, you go to a restaurant, you share the bill. You are dating, no? The bill is 100 dirham, the woman pays 50, you also pay 50. You understand? So it all depends on the culture. So what I'm trying to say is that depending on the culture of the person may also show whether the person is. People have a different way of expressing love. You understand? So I know African women always say they want white people, but it's not every white who is romantic. You know, it's not every white who is romantic. So they should try, and most of the time also she might. You see, one thing people don't know about marriage also is that sometimes, especially it happens to the women a lot. When women get frustrated in a marriage, or they are hurt and they are in pain, maybe the husband cheated on her, or she's going through some pain, their feelings can die.
That's a woman.
That's the woman. Even the men too happens to them. Men too happen to them. Their feelings can die, and so that can also create the scenario here that is making the man to complain that the woman is not romantic, doesn't like. She may like sex, but maybe something might have happened that has actually killed the mood. She no longer fancies it. It's like it kills her passion. You understand? So they should try revamp the passion and forgive each other. Maybe if there's unforgiveness, they should learn to let go and forgive, and they will find the enigma to continue.
Thank you, Papa. I have a question here. Someone is asking, kissing, is it allowed for non-married couples? Is kissing allowed for non-married couples?
It's not allowed. It's not allowed. Because you see, when it comes to the issue of kissing, I've thought on it before when I was talking about covenants. If, for instance, you are not married, you're not supposed to have sex, which we all know, you see. Now, some people say, oh, but since it is not penetration, I don't think I've done anything wrong. But I'm telling you that, you see, if you start kissing the person, from kissing, first is to start with a peg. Then from a peg, it comes to deep tissue kissing. Deep tissue. Because at first you are starting with pegging. You say, oh, remember what the Bible said? The Bible said, flee fornication. It said, flee. Because you are dating this person, you love each other. It's like petrol and fire. The person gives you a kiss, he gives you a peg. The next time it will be a kiss, one. The next one, he wants to keep longer. The next time he's keeping longer with a kiss, he's putting his hand into your bra. The next one, it leads to the bed. By the time you come to yourself, what you were trying to prevent, you have already done it. So that's why we are saying that it is not allowed in relationship. You see, the problem about women is that we hasten ourselves. You see, you will hasten yourself, then you get married, then the thing is lying beside you. You cannot even do it. You are thinking about the next project, the next business deal, your students' school fees. Your mind is not even, the thing is lying beside you, but your mind is not even there. You understand? So we normally hasten us, so it is not allowed. It's not allowed. In fact, it comes with its own spiritual repercussions also. You understand? Because if the person doesn't carry a good spirit. Even by kissing you, there can be a transfer of spirits. So as a Christian, it's a no-no for kissing. Begging, in some cultures, is normal. Like in France, in the French culture, that's how they greet. So in such cultures, they give a peg, 3. It's as part of their greetings. And so in such cultures, fine, it's normal. Whether even a child, a mother, a father, that's how they greet. So it's different. But as Christians, it is a no-no for we Christians, yeah.
Thank you, Papa. Viewers, we're going for short commercial break. Viewers, we're going for short commercial break. You can still be dropping your comment or your question, and we'll answer you when we come back from this break. We'll be right back.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, Jessica, how are you?
I'm fine.
Where's Comfort?
She's at the village.
Why? Did she tell you why she left?
Honey, you're yelling at the girl. She's not Comfort.
It's okay, ma. Comfort left because she's missing her family.
So when is she coming back? Next week?
She might spend at least a month.
1 month?
I tried to tell her to come back from next week, but I don't know.
This helps. This helps. They're all just crazy. How will she expect me to run this house by myself?
Calm down, honey. Calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. You know what it took us to get it made? You know how long it took us, and now it's going to take us longer to get a replacement?
We'll find another person. We'll find someone.
I'm sorry for all of this, ma. Sorry, sir.
It's fine. It's not your fault. Okay? Relax.
I start my annual leave on Monday, and it's going to last till the end of this month. So what if I fill in Comfort's position?
What?
Can you do it?
Yes, I can, ma. I can.
No, I don't agree. You have worked very hard at the office. All right? It's your leave. You're supposed to rest. This is your time to rest, and you should take your rest.
No, it's fine, sir. Besides, this is a way of me saying thank you for being so helpful and supportive to me and my cousin Comfort. Maybe after my leave, she should be back by then.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
You're welcome, ma.
Just relieve me of the stress. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So you start tomorrow?
Yeah, I can.
I don't like this idea. It doesn't just work right in my head. I don't want Jessica here working for her as a maid. Why?
I don't see anything so bad about that.
I see everything wrong with it. She's my secretary.
And a good one at that. You always see how efficient she is, so I'm sure she's going to channel that same energy into taking care of this house.
That will be me mixing my business life with my private life. No.
I don't think anything is wrong with that. Besides, Jessica is family. Her cousin has been here serving us all this month, and it's the same. There's no difference.
Dora, can we find someone else?
No.
Dora.
I do not have time, okay? My whole year has been booked. I cannot make out time to manage this out by myself.
Hold on a second. What I don't understand is, why are you running away from your responsibilities? No, I need to understand. Would it be an abomination? Dora, would it be an abomination if you take charge here and run this house for once? I don't see what you do. Are you working? You're not working. Can you not just stand in and do what you're meant to do?
You should scream it! Rub it in! Just tell me how it is, how I'm just an Oria. I just sit at home and eat your money, right?
Dora, that is not what I have said.
I'll be in my room.
Dora, you're walking out.
I don't understand what is going on. Her number is not going through. I cannot reach her. Jessica says there's no network in their village. And Anaya is not making this easy for me in any way. This Jessica girl has...
Viewers, welcome back. Welcome you again. Thank you so much for your time and your praise and your support. Welcome back to the Family Life series. And today we're talking about typical questions for married couple. Thank you so much for your time. So, Papa, I have a question for here from someone. The person said, can unmarried be romantic? How does atmosphere can be experienced experience. Let's say French person, so the English is a bit.
Yeah, as a non-married person, there are basic things you can do to tell your partner that if you marry, you will be more romantic, but not giving your partner sex and kissing that makes you romantic. Maybe you're encouraging words. Romantic does not necessarily mean sex. People think romance is about sex. No. It is the way you compliment the person, the way you show love, you care about the person, the total holistic well-being of the person. That makes the person feel that, oh, you got my back. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what makes you romantic. And so as non-married people who are going to get married, the way you can show is to let the person feel that I am there for you, but not sex. Because sex is not a guarantee that somebody loves you. You see, people must understand that sex is not a guarantee that because you have sex with somebody means that you love the person. You understand? And so as singles, the way you show affection should not be through sex, but it could be through care, genuine care, agape love. You understand? Agape love. You love the person as a brother, as a sister. You understand what I'm saying? Not when you are expressing romance based on filial, like you want to just have sex with the person. You understand? That you are imagining the person's nakedness and all that. It's entirely wrong. You understand? So as singles who are applying to you can express romance, but in an agape way. You understand? Not as couples. Yeah.
I have a question here. The person said, is it advisable to allow your family, parents in your marriage? Is it advisable to allow your family or parents in your marriage?
Allow.
Is it advisable?
No. No. Me, it's no, because the Bible said a man will leave his father and cleave to his wife and become one person. You see, he said the man will leave. He didn't say that if the man is leaving, he should leave his family, his father. No, those things doesn't help in marriage, because the two of you have to be together and experience your own thing together. Because when people come in, it brings confusion. You get me? For instance, me, I got married to Papa, and my mother too. That means I'm going into the marriage with my mother and everything.
Father, yeah.
So if something is going wrong, my husband cannot tell me, because if my husband tell me, my mom will say, how can my husband talk to me like that? How can my husband do that to me? You know, there's certain things you can do. You get me? You visit them, it's a gift, something they want, you buy it for them, you send them money, but for them coming into your marriage is wrong. To bring confusion in a whole lot, so it's very wrong. You to go into your marriage with your family, no, it's wrong. The word of God doesn't say that.
The cleaving is very important. Yeah, the cleaving is very important. So it is very important to cleave, like you separate yourself from your. Nobody is saying that you should hate your parents or hate your mother because simply you are married. So you distance yourself. As for family, you always need them. You understand? Because you might give birth, your mother might have to take care of the kids. So as for family, you can't totally eradicate them. But what we are saying is that you must cleave. Cleaving means that you must leave your father and mother and become one. So it means that you don't go to mama and ask mama, discuss your marital issues with mama or papa. You understand? You cleave, meaning that you try to, mommy will say, you have your own experience together. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't bring your mother and father, everything. I'm going to ask my mother's opinion. My mother's food is nicer than your food. My father's food is nicer than your food. It means that you still have not cleaved. You still have this mentality that I must always consult my mother or consult my father. So for your parents coming into it, I think it's Christianity is not right. It's wrong, yes.
So the answer is no.
Yeah,
But I have one more question here. How do you handle a nagging wife or husband? How do you handle a nagging wife or husband? Someone nagging.
We said this the other time that if somebody nags, psychologically there's a problem, there's something wrong. The person is complaining, nagging simply when the person complains. So when we're looking at the issue of emotional intelligence, you understand, we were saying that one of the best way of solving an issue of somebody who nags a lot is to, the person who is nagging should find a way of communicating his problem or her problem. Because if you can communicate something, but the way you communicate it will either sell or it will not sell. The way you will communicate it. For instance, if you want to complain to your husband that maybe he stays at work for too long, then your husband comes home and you say, why, the work is it for your father? The work is it for your father? Now, you've communicated it, but the way you communicated it, he will go the following day, I guarantee you. If he comes maybe at 5, he will come 9, just to spite you because of the way you communicated it. But if you say, if for instance, he closes at say 6 and comes home say 7, and you want to communicate your disdain for that, you feel if you can try and make it a bit early to help the children with their homework before they go to bed, you can say, oh honey, you know something, I've been wanting to discuss something with you. I think that the children, they fear you more. So I know you're a very busy person, but I'm begging you, if you go make time out of your busy schedule, at least try and come at the period the children are about to sleep, so you can help them with their homework. I'll get them ready, bath them, get them prepared with their homework ready. Once you come, you just help them with their homework. Then after you help them with their homework, they can go and sleep. You've communicated the same thing, which is more appealing to the person. Are you understand what I'm saying? So you realize that you are nagging, but the way you communicated has solved the problem. So people who complain a lot, they should find a way of communicating. You understand? Find a way of communicating. Because as we discussed in our previous session, people can go and watch it when we're talking about emotional. Everything is based on attitude. It's your attitude. You understand? Your attitude. You see, your attitude will always determine your altitude. Because in every situation, if you don't have the right attitude, you will not be able to appreciate whatever or the partner that God has given to you. Your attitude is what is important. You understand what I mean? Your attitude is very important. Because you see, if you are somebody who nags and you complain a lot, most of the time, it could be that what you are even complaining about or nagging about, you've not even communicated, or you don't even really know why the person is behaving like that. So you just jump into conclusions, early conclusions, you understand? And so because of that, it makes you nag. Let me give an example. Your husband kept long at work and came home late. You met him at the corridor, and the first thing you go, you come back late again. Maybe he was attacked by armed robbers. First, check and see whether, honey, do you have bruises on your body? Are you okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? But you just started by nagging. You put him off. Because you may not know the day, what he went through the whole day, just to even come and see you. You understand? So it is always important to have the right attitude, to always to look at the positive side of every situation before you complain. You understand? Have an appealing personality and don't complain, don't nag too much about everything. Always find a way of communicating, because everything boils down on your attitude, and having the right attitude is important. So if you are somebody who nags too much, maybe if your husband or your wife or husband, start the day well with something. Maybe something that makes you cheerful. Maybe it's a comedy, Mark Angel comedy, or some comedy you like to watch. watch it to just make you happy. Have a good personality, you know, that makes you happy. So that you can always see the positive side of everything rather than always looking at the negative side and complaining and nagging all the time. You understand? It's one of the ways you can solve the issue of nagging. I don't know whether mommy wants to add something to it.
Sometimes also is when it's coming from the person he or she is coming from. If you see your parents nagging all the time, so she too is used.
Just normal.
Normal. You see it as normal. You see, but it's wrong. As a wife, you should not do that.
Even men nag, so men too nag.
Okay.
Yeah.
But women are more.
Women nag more.
You see, it's not everything that you see that you have to nag around. It's wrong. Find a way of talking to your husband. If your husband is not getting you, you go and see a counselor. Maybe what is happening is demon. You know, the devil is trying to separate the two of you. He's finding a way to separate the two of you. So find a way of talking to your spouse. Speak to your wife that, only what at all do you want? You know, what at all do you want? And there are some people too, the reason why the women they nag a lot is that when they are courting, they show affection and attention, all these things. But after marriage, they feel that now I've gotten you, so what? You see, if you do that, your wife will always nag. You know,
because most women who nag is because they want attention.
Yeah.
But because, as I said, they don't communicate it well. The person wants attention, but rather, I was given an example that instead of she having a good personality, attitude, to rather draw the man closer, she's nagging rather, and the nagging rather is drawing the man away. You see, so most people who nag actually, they want attention.
That's right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mommy. So now we're going to go into the communication part of the section in the program. But I want to add, she does not keep good, she does not keep good
No, she's always quarreling with me.
22. She's always quarreling with me and
threatens to leave.
And threatening to leave the marriage. Yeah. What do I do?
I think that sometimes we get carried away as couples because when you look at the scripture in Ephesians 4, verse number 27, the Bible said, neither give place to the devil. And when you read Ephesians 4, verse 29, it says, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearer. And so, for quarreling, couples will always quarrel. They will have misunderstanding. But the Bible enjoins us that no matter what the person has done that is so hurtful, that is so painful, speak truth to the person, but speak it in love. And so sometimes out of anger, couples may get angry and say, I will leave you, I will leave you, but it's wrong. Even though couples do that, it is wrong. Biblically, it is not right. You understand? It is not right. So it is always important that no matter whatever the person has done, speak true to the person, but speak it in love to the person. That you did A, B, C, D, I think it is not good. It is outrightly not good. You understand? But the threat of saying, I will leave you and the rest, that one biblically, the Bible enjoins that is wrong. You understand? But sometimes, as I said, it is because of anger. You see, that makes maybe the person, but even in our anger, you see, the Bible, one of the things we need to understand is that whether you like it or not as couples, you're going to fight. When I'm talking about fight, I'm not talking about beating each other. No, when I'm talking about fight, you agree to disagree. You may have your misunderstanding. But in whatever misunderstanding, whatever you are telling your partner, don't sluggishly or don't say it to hurt your partner. Tell them if the person is wrong or has done something, do it in love. Do it. Speak true to the person, but do it in love. You understand? So that at the end of the day, because sometimes as couples, like if you look at the pastor, for instance, who killed the wife, you understand? There was a pre-recording where he said he was going to kill the wife. Now, he might not have meant it, but because I'm a deliverance person and I understand desires, thoughts, you understand? He might have said it, but he might not have meant it. But because he said it, he gave the devil room to manipulate the situation, which further led to the death of the wife. You understand? So sometimes as couples, we have to be very careful, even in our anger, the things we say in the spur of the moment. You understand? Because in the spur of the moment, you are angry. You may say some things, but we forget that what we say are actually seeds. You speak air, there are demons all around us. They pick it and they can stand on that and they can destroy things in your marriage or destroy things in your relationship. So it's very important that as couples we are very circumspect about what we say, even in the spur of the anger, when we are angry. You understand? So the woman is totally wrong. She's not supposed to disrespect the husband. She has violated the principle of communication, and that is very important that the love of Christ proceeds out of our speech as couples. We will disagree. We will agree, we'll disagree, but in the midst of whatever, you don't insult. Well, Jimmy, you're a fool, you're a stupid man, you're a foolish man, you're a useless man, you're irresponsible. You see, all these communications, you understand? What are they? You're a stupid woman, I'll leave you. All these things, Satan breathes on them actually and makes it to work in the life of couples. So we have to be very circumspect when we are communicating to each other. We must communicate with respect to each other. We must communicate with love to each other. It's very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Thank you, Papa. I have a question here from somebody who is saying or asking that can long distance marriage last for long, and how can you bond more with your family in this aspect?
Long distance
marriage, yeah.
How do
you bond?
It's unfortunate people are asking questions about things that we've already spoken about, but we'll still answer. There's a question and answer section. So we said sometimes, yes, it is possible to bond with your wife. It is possible to bond with your husband. But we said that long distance marriage comes as circumstantial because you didn't bargain for it, has come. You have to be separated for a while due to work or other conditions or other factors that may have separated. So communication is important. You just make sure that you, your wife, yourself, you are actually communicating, because you can be in the marriage and you can be together, but if you're not communicating, it's even worse than being your husband or your wife being you are not together. But once you can communicate, even if the person, now we have gadgets, we have Zoom, we have other apps and other things that you can see your wife, you can communicate together, you can, so it is very possible for you to bond together. But all you need to do is to don't have misplaced priorities. Make sure that because you are separated, the two of you must understand why you are separated and respect the vow you have for each other, the love you have for each other, so that the man doesn't cheat while the woman is there, the woman too doesn't cheat while the man is there, so that at the end of the day, you can be able to respect each other. That this is the reason why we are sacrificing, so that we can be apart. You understand what I'm saying? And I would say communication. Communicate more with your, when you are not together, communicate more. By so doing, the person should just go back to the whole series we did. It's on YouTube and also in some of our Facebook pages. So look at, we did a whole series on long distance relationship and marriage. So the person can listen more. So it's possible for you to bond. You can still bond. You can still, in fact, it is even we say that you can even bond more when you are apart than even when you are together. Yes. You understand? You can even bond more, because then you begin to appreciate each other better. You begin to say, I miss my wife, I miss my husband. Because sometimes there's a saying that when something is very close, you don't value it until the thing leaves. So when the person is not around, then you begin to really appreciate the area of your life that the person is actually feeling, and appreciate the person's input actually in your life. Do you understand? You better appreciate the person's input in your life. But when the person is around you usually tend to take the person for granted. Yes.
Papa, someone also asked, he said, Papa, what about long relationship distance? What about that one also?
Yes, if you remember, we did discuss that one. We said, yes, long relationships can also work. But you must all understand the value why you decided to be separated. You understand what I'm saying? The only thing we said that day, which Mommy raised, was that we felt that you shouldn't get, like, the person is outside, then the person came down to marry you. 2 weeks, 1 month, he's leaving you behind, and he's going for another 5 years. That was what we said, that Christianly it is wrong. Do you understand? But for you to be in a Christian relationship, and maybe the relationship, the person is just working 2 years, he'll be back. But he doesn't intend to go, or even if he's going to go, he's going with you. That one, Christian courtship, you can court once you are away. Now, thank God for technology. Yes, the only challenge about that aspect is that the person may pretend. You may not know the real personality of the person because you are talking gadgets. So even the person is on phone with somebody or is somewhere, he can tell you otherwise. That's the risky aspect. So if you can remember when we were talking about long distance, we said that it is important that when you are courting the person, it's a long distance. You don't just pre-plan marriage, everything through long distance. Then you just meet, like you've never met yourselves. You've only seen yourself on video call and the rest. Then the day you meet is the day you are getting married. No. You can court maybe because of your nature of work you are separated, but at least we even said that even when we're talking about long distance, we said even the long distance, still you should meet. Every quarter you should try and meet and and have fellowship. You understand? Get to bond yourselves before you even go back to your several posts or whatever. So even in a relationship, it's important that before you go to counseling whatever, you should come together and at least 4 6 months after you might be in a long distance relationship to get to know yourselves before the marriage proper. You understand? Because there could be deception during the time you were doing the long distance relationship. Yeah.
Thank you, Papa. Thank you, Mommy. She speaks to me respectfully.
Mommy will answer that one.
She speaks
to me
disrespectfully
when she's angry.
When she's angry. And corrects me in anger.
When the woman is
angry, yeah.
I believe the woman should be careful. When you are talking to your husband, or if you know that you have an anger problem, find a way of talking to your husband that your husband will not be offended. You can't be angry, like Papa said, you can't be angry and be saying words that you are not supposed to say. Because if you do that, it can kill the love in the relationship. The man will not love you again.
Withdraw. It's a two-edged sword. If it's a woman, she will withdraw.
Yeah. You see, so you have to find a way that your spouse will understand you. But you can't talk rude to your husband. Even as a child of God, it's not right. Try and know how to manage your anger so that there will be peace and harmony at home. You have to find a way of doing it. If you know that you've grown up in Choco area that, like some people, they talk to their husband with gross and those things. You find a way, maybe your husband is not coming from such, so you find a way of doing it. If not, you lose your husband.
Some men, for instance, when you are cooking, I heard a story of a man who married a very polished Cape Coast girl. Cape Coast in terms of, the Fantis. They are very, profo and the rest. And on their honeymoon, the woman was just cooking this egg. And you know how the Fantis, the way they do their breakfast. And this woman was just doing some keche and she threw the egg just to catch it back again. And the woman just put his mouth. and the whole egg, with the heat and everything, that nearly collapsed their marriage. The woman, hey, what is this? What a bushman I married. You see, so sometimes our differences and our, so it's important that we learn to. Love is not rude. You see, love is not rude. Love is not unruly, and so we must apply agape love anytime we are talking to our spouse, whether it's the man or the woman you are talking to. Just speak to the person in love. It's very important. Speak to the person in love, and it helps. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Papa. I have a question also. What if you're courting someone or getting to know somebody, and the man rather likes more than you, the lady, in terms of not letting some things go, but keeps like complaining, or not let things go, like petty things. The person keeps complaining, and you, the lady, you just let things go easily.
It's sometimes it's also temperament. It's the man's temperament. But what the man has to do is that if the man doesn't, it's all based on attitude. So the man should learn how to develop a good attitude to things, like seeing things in the right frame. When we're talking about attitude, remember I said the attitude is hidden. The behavior is what people see. The attitude is what forms your character. You understand? So the person should build on having a good attitude. Then he can be able to picture things in the right frame of way, so that it's not everything he will complain. He must always see good in something. You understand? Because if you in marriage, you see, people, even in organizations, you see, if you don't have the right attitude, even in organizations, you still complain. Because you complain. So that's what I'm saying, that if the man is the one that nags too much, then he's not communicating well. That's why the woman is not feeling that he has a genuine concern. You understand? Then also he should build on having the right attitude to things. You understand? Sometimes also it could be unforgiveness. That's why it's maybe some past event or whatever. Sometimes people nag, as I said, they want attention. They want you to put diapers, wear diapers for them. There are some people, they always want you to put diapers for them. Like they want attention. They want your undiluted attention. You understand? So as we said, one of the ways of de-expressing it is to always and sometimes is such people also, they lack self-esteem. Their self-esteem is low. Their self-esteem has been injured. They don't believe in themselves. They have issues with their personality. So all the time, they have to do things out of the abnormal just to get your attention. That's why even some women can go to the extent of even starving herself just to get the man's attention, just to do something crazy to get the man's attention. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see, it's sometimes low self-esteem also causes that. That makes them, the low self-esteem is what makes them to be jealous and all those things and nag. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, all is based on attitude. The person should have the right attitude to things, then things will fall in place. Yes.
Because some women, they don't like that.
Thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Papa. I have here. She easily takes offense and refuses to talk for days. The woman easily takes offense in everything and refuses to talk for days.
Well, forgiveness is a command in marriage, and even outside marriage. And so, when we were babies in marriage, we used to do that. But now we are matured. I mean, we try as much as possible not to sleep in her anger, because I noticed that anytime mommy she sleeps in her anger, she has a bad dream. So this time we try as much as possible. She doesn't sleep in the anger. You understand? So it is always good to forgive. No matter whatever, try and forgive your partner. And if you are somebody who takes offense easily, and you are easily provoked, I think that one of the best way of dealing with offense is to speak what is on your chest with love. Whatever you think is bothering you, that is making you take an offense, just speak it, but speak it in love to your partner, so your partner will understand you better. You understand? But to hold a grudge and say, these are some of the things that give cancer, high blood pressure, and all that. You see, so you try as much as possible to forgive, walk in forgiveness. Marriage, somebody said something. He said, marriage is two people who keep forgiving themselves every day. You keep forgiving, because if you are somebody you are going to marriage and you are somebody like you like to hold on to grudges, hey, you will die before your time. You will die, your husband will marry, you will die, your wife will marry. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to
let things go.
Yes, you have to program your mind. The marriage is about forgiveness. The marriage is about forgiveness. So you forgive your partner, then you move on. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Papa said, don't sleep
With your anger.
It's wrong. And as a woman, you have to, like you said, you don't have to be so angry that when your husband is coming closer to you, you are pushing him away. You don't want to talk to him. You don't. It's like you are avoiding him in anything. You get me? So you find a way of talking to your wife or your husband when you are angry. You know, and you pray also, because when you follow Papa, you see that everything that happens in marriage is spiritual. So it's because of anger. That's why the pastor killed the wife. It's because he said it in anger. And the devil also be pushing him. Said you will kill your wife, so go and kill him. You know, if you don't kill him, that means you are not a man. You are not a man. So do it. You see, do it. So you have to find a way of praying that the Lord should take away that anger and bitterness. You see, you have to forgive. Learn to forgive and let go. Because Jesus Christ, look at what we did, but he came to die for us. And he forgive us. He has even given us grace. You know, God has given us grace. So as a wife or as a husband, you have to have grace for your spouse and keep on forgiving him or her.
Thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Papa. Sometimes the way my wife talks to me is rude and bad. She talks back at me.
Yes, I think the man is frustrated because of the way the wife talks. And I think that, first of all, try and find out the upbringing of your partner. Maybe your wife comes from the Choco area, you understand, or the very unrefined environment where the only way of expressing their emotion or expressing themselves is to raise their voice or to whatever. So I think that first check the background of the person and try as much as possible. If you're the person who raises your voice, try and allow the Holy Spirit to influence your temperament and allow the Word of God to influence you. You understand what I'm saying? That's why we said that when it comes to issues of your personality, we said that your personality plus other factors, because remember the day we're looking at the temperament, we said that your character is different from your temperament. You understand what I'm saying? Your character is different from your temperament, and that your character is framed by your pastor, your friends, the school you went to. All these things shapes your character. So therefore, the person may be behaving like that because all her friends or his friends are all from Choco. They are all from Nima or some very, an environment where, in where I grew up from, if you want to toast a lady and you go like nice, oh, hello, how are you? My name is Chris. She will look at you in a very funny way, like, this guy, are you normal? So in where I come from, you want to toast a lady, you go like, Babia, Inka, Babia, Inka, Usmabo, Minoka. You understand? And she sees as normal, like, that's the guy. You understand what I'm saying? So you get what I'm saying? Or you've eaten kinky, like 4 balls of kinky. Then the pure water seller is passing us and said, brah, I'm a pure water me and son. Then after drinking the pure water, person will pay also there. So you see, people come from different environments where you understand what I'm saying? So maybe she's coming from that environment where she sees her mother, the community people shouting, those kind of things. So I'm telling you, some environments, you'll be shocked. Some women in the ghettos where I come from, if they don't date a gentleman, I'm telling you the truth. No. You see a very beautiful girl, he's dating the baddest boy in the area who smokes weed. I'm telling you the truth. Do you understand? And when I was growing up, one day I asked one of the ladies, he said, no, this is the ghetto, my boyfriend has to beat me. It's a way of him expressing his love to me. If he doesn't beat you, it means he doesn't love you. So on several occasions when I was growing up, I saw women being battered, beaten.
They like it.
And they like it. And the following day, I'm seeing this guy with this lady, they're together in his carrots. I'm like, hey, is that what they call love? You understand what I'm saying? So I think in the way is the upbringing. The upbringing could be a factor. So the husband can help her by maybe through deliverance and maybe talking to her, devotion, studying the word of God together, talking to their counselor, so that she can be helped. If they can put all this in place, I think that so this is where the man has to show some level of leadership, help the woman. You understand? Help the woman to be able to come to the level that God has designated for her, so that she doesn't, her environment where she grew up, whatever that's it, or what she saw when she was growing up, she saw her parents or she saw her mother talking to her, and so she saw it as normal, so that she can be rewired based on the word of God to tell her that no, this is wrong. You don't talk to your partner that way. And so whether it's both ways, whether the woman who is talking to the man who is talking must not raise your voice on your partner. It is not that. You don't raise your voice on your wife. You don't raise your voice on your husband. It is the marriage. Because remember we said that the woman is not an inferior person to you. She's an equal to you. So you treat her with respect. You don't talk to her anyhow. You don't shout her. The same applies to the woman. Because respect in relationship or marriage is reciprocal. And remember, garbage in, garbage out. So if you shout on her, what you shout on her is what you get back. You understand? You treat her with love, you get love back. That's how women are wired. You understand what I'm saying? So I think the husband should forgive her, show her the way, get a counselor, help her with the word of God, and I believe that they'll be okay.
Thank you, Papa. Mama, she corrects me in anger, and is very respectful when she's angry. The woman corrects the man in anger when she's angry, and
you said it right.
it's something similar but different. Yeah.
Okay, it's wrong. It's very wrong. Like I said, you can't talk to your husband in anger. Find a way of dealing with your anger so that there will be peace at home. You can't talk to your husband anyhow. Can you be angry and be talking to your husband and be shouting at your husband? You know, it's wrong. It's wrong. A child of God don't do that. Child of God, you don't do that. Don't shout. You know, sometimes it could be stress.
Sometimes it could be depression.
Yeah, depression.
It will also be depression.
Yeah.
But despite this depression or stress, the Bible enjoins us not to allow any filthy communication come out of us. So, as Mommy is saying, I believe that it is not right. You see, one thing about anger is that anger is something that destroys. Look at the pastor issue we are discussing, we are talking about. A lot of people are judging this pastor and condemning him. I was telling Mommy that yes, he did what is wrong, but it could happen to anybody. It could happen to anybody. Because as for anger, when they mention his name, Euphoria, the first Euphoria that came to me, I said, hey, this Euphoria to his anger. So I said, hey, I'm going to do a whole research on the Euphories to see whether if Euphories, I'm going to do a whole research on the, no, serious, I decided I'm going to search for the names of Euphoria and find out their traits, what they do, because it just struck me, you know, and at least I have a hypothesis, which are two Euphorias, one I know personally and the one who killed, but I'm not saying this Euphoria could kill. I don't think his anger will get to that level. So I'm saying that anger can destroy things. I've had the privilege to do some charity works in the prisons. And I met one guy in the Volta region who was narrating his ordeal. There were two brothers. The other stabbed the brother just because of an egg.
One egg?
Yes, egg. And so, as for anger, it can happen to anybody. You understand? Somebody can push his husband over a cliff or something. So anger can happen to anybody, and at the spur of the moment, the person can react or do something which is not supposed to do. So what I would say is that for marriage, anything can happen. So try and control your anger. We dealt about emotional intelligence. We dealt about all that. How to control. If you know that you are somebody, your mouth is very sharp. You don't talk. We've done so. They should just look at the previous series to address some of the issues. You understand? So it's very important that we all must control our anger. It's very important.
Thank you, Papa. Thank you, Mimi. Because our time is up, we'll say our last. Mama, do you want to say your last words to the viewers and advise them out there before we close?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. What I would like to share with them is marriage itself is a mystery. You know, it's a mystery. So you have to, when you got married to someone, you have to find a way to bring harmony and peace at home. You know, in marriage there'll be misunderstanding. Things will happen because we are all coming from different backgrounds. And we are here to know each other. You get me? So things will happen. So learn to forgive in marriage. And if you see any sign before you court as lady or as a man, you have to deal with it before you go into the relationship deeper or you get married to the person. If you see any sign that is danger for you, you can talk to him about it, him or her about it. And if it's still not, the person is not doing anything about it, you see a counselor.
Don't stay in an abusive marriage.
You have to be
abusive, whether it's verbal abusive or physical abusive marriage. Don't try and get a counselor.
You know, and learn about certain things before you go into it, so that you don't be surprised. The last time we said that many people are preparing for their weddings, their cake, you know, but they are not preparing for their marriage itself. You know, even the cake, when you cut the cake, you see black inside, bitter, there's bitter and happy. So you have to take it that you are going into the relationship, whether good or bad, you stay in it and still be prayerful. And be prayerful. You see, you have to be prayerful.
Thank you so much, Mama. Viewers, thank you so much for your time and your prayers and your support. I want to say thank you so much. Today we'll bring the topic of typical questions for marriage couple on the family life series. Say thank you so much, and I have some books written by Papa Apostle Gaba by himself, Understanding the Purpose of Marriage. All these books are written by my Papa Apostle Gaba himself, and I have here Revival or Death. All these books are written by him. I have here Deep Deliverance. I want to say thank you so much for your prayers and your support, always watching us every Friday. We say we really appreciate you and we love you. So we come your way again next week. We'll say our last prayer and then we close. Papa, please can you say it?
Father, can we pray?
Yes.
Father, we thank you for the privilege of today. We thank you for the wisdom to answer the questions. We pray for our audience. We pray for marriages out there, that you grant couples wisdom, those who are planning to get married, those who are already married. I pray that you will give them wisdom, you will direct them. Father, lead them in the path of righteousness, order their steps, Lord, that at the end, Lord, will be careful to ascribe all glory and honor to your name. In Jesus' precious name, we call it done. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, viewers, for your time and your prayers and your support. So we come your way again next week, Friday, on the Family Life series. Stay blessed and stay safe. May God bless you. Take care. Good night. See you.